When I first started coming around to 12-step groups, I uh, I didn't I didn't know how to share, in those meetings. And I remember asking my sponsor about it once, and he said, well, in meetings we share our experience, strength, and hope, and you don't have any yet. Which I just think is brilliant. He was right. I'd never worked the 12 steps. I hadn't gathered any experience of what it was like to be a sober individual. And so, I was reserved when it came to sharing, um and I'm thankful for that. It taught me. It was the first step in a very valuable lesson that I've been practicing for quite some time. And it's helped me a lot with how to navigate conversations with people, basically. See, beforehand, when I was out there, I was always like under the impression that my opinions were really valuable. I mean, I was a good thinker, right? Like, if you had a problem, my God, let me help you solve it. I mean, I can't solve my own, but Jesus, let me help you. And and there was something off on that, and it never really worked. And part of it was I was really trying to feel like I had any sense of value in this world. Part of my desire to help somebody else out was because I just felt so useless and so pointless, and I didn't know. I thought if I could help you out, at least there's some value there, right? Like, um, and I didn't know that until I started really looking at myself and my intentions, when it came to how I talk to other people, how I transmit the information that I have to other people. And um, and so this was a very valuable lesson, and it was deepened when I started understanding that not just the steps help me out, but also the traditions. There are various 12-step groups that have 12 traditions as well, and it was brought to my attention that these traditions were also something that could be applied personally. So a good one is like the seventh tradition, which states that you know each group should be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions, right? And the way that I used to live my life was basically by trying to leech off of other people, and I wasn't fully self-supporting. And so one of the changes that had occurred as the result of becoming sober was that I started standing on my own 2 feet and paying my own bills, and learning that it actually felt good to participate and become more fully self-supporting, not leaning on others all the time. And but the one that I want to talk about right now is the tenth tradition, because I've taken that very personally. And the tenth tradition is, whichever organization is using it, right? Like, whichever organization is using it ought never, um, sorry, whichever organization is using it has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, that name ought never be drawn into public controversy, right? It's kind of like a protective barrier, so to speak. It's like, if I don't, if I don't put myself out there, so to speak, with my opinions or my ideas, then I won't be involved in public controversy. I don't really care about the public controversy thing when it comes to me personally. I get it on an organizational level. But what I will say is, it really challenged me to say, well, what is a personal issue? Like, what's an outside issue, right? Justin Adair ought never have or never form opinions on outside issues. And this was the kind of like, whoa, a big change in my life was like, well, what is an outside issue? And basically, an outside issue is anything that I haven't directly personally experienced. Then I then I cannot say that I know this thing. It's not that I don't, hear and, listen to scientists and news reporters and all of these things on things that, are beyond my personal experience. But it's just that I've ceased believing in the stories around these to the degree that I now adopt it as fact. That's the difference. Is that I'm not listening to a news report and just immediately thinking it's fact and then giving that over as if I'm the expert, right? Instead, I just say I don't know a lot. I just don't know, and that's awesome. That's a great place to be. Um, I've been practicing this for a long time. This idea of having no opinions on outside issues, and I remember this one time I was standing with this group of individuals, and they were talking to me about how the two alien races, the lizards and the this and that, and they were fully involved, fully believed what they were telling me, and they pointed up at what we assume is Starlink, right? Like this, and they were like, "Look, that's it right there." And I was just like, I just said, "Yeah, that's cool. It sounds cool." And they're like, "You don't believe it?" And I was like, "It's not that. It's just that I don't know. I'm not up there. I don't see those ships or satellites or whatever they are." I said, "There's another story that says that this is Starlink. Maybe that's what it is. I refuse to believe in something uh, without any personal experience in it, and that has stopped me from engaging in these wild theories, these wild chases, and it has stopped me from pretending to be an expert in things that I'm not, and it has stopped me from closing a door on another individual because of whether I believe something or not. Like it keeps me open to other people's ideas, to their stories. It keeps me open to their experiences and their theories as well and their opinions. And one of the greatest things is like about paying attention to whether or not I'm spouting an opinion or giving my experience, that I become very familiar with what is opinion and how it's framed and phrased and whatnot. And so, hearing other people's opinions becomes quite clear. It's like, yeah, okay, that's good, but tell me what your experience is, and that's just that's also just a sense of freedom to some degree or another, because it's like I don't have to get caught up in any of that stuff, and it makes me it makes me helpful in a way that um, where I can lend honesty in either situation, right? Like either somebody comes to me and they say that they have a problem, and at that point, if I have experience with it, then I give them my experience, and that's honest. Or they come to me and they say they've got this problem, and I say I don't have any experience on this, and I'm not a resource for it, and that's also honest. So like it's just been very helpful to develop this tradition personally of having no opinions.